Um, I had been working these passes. In the last class, I'll ask Ethan to lay back down so everybody could see. And I was describing distancing, right? And I was describing in the last classes how if I see these feet dangling out, I'm going to start taking control of one of them. And then I described the essence of the division of the body and how my goal is to either divide the body in the center line where my head's on one side of a spinal cord line and my hips are on the other. That can happen a lot of different ways. And the ones that we're doing, right, it can happen in half guard because that's division also. But we were going two behind one. So this is how I kind of left off, is that I had grabbed his foot and now I started to flare, and I told you a couple of things. I said as I flared, my head position goes backwards. I don't do this. I don't come back with my head. My head doesn't stay stable in one spot. I also don't rise up, okay? And that's what I explained last time. I said from the very beginning, as I flare, my head goes forward, okay? So the principle is going to continue the same way. And then we started to close a little bit of distance where they did have these hooks. And I was on this hand fight, and I got inside position, and I flared again. I did the same exact thing. But now we're going to go backwards, right? Come on. And we're like this. And what they do is they crowd you like this, and now you're like this, and he's trying to fight for head position and come underneath you. So we're going to start like this, okay? When they're so tight to you, there's a great chance on a flare to lay on this hip, but I'm going to have the goal of touching this hand on the back lat. But I'm also going to lay on this hip. And I'm going to describe a couple of things. I'll say them first, okay? As I'm touching this back lat, I realize that I'm sacrificing this shoulder because he's going to clamp it. But I'm also understand that I can release this leg very quickly. So because I've decided to come so high up that I lay down this way. So we're going to fall together. I want to continue this fight, right? And now this leg is my first wedge point underneath. So I'm going to square back up. You can keep doing whatever you want with this shoulder. But this shoulder is now functioning at this point. I know sometimes I see this where guys are fighting for something that has nothing you could do with. They'll squeeze it and you go, you keep doing that while I do this, right? And now I'm here going side control. And we'll take it from here. We'll start taking other positions on this, okay? So now we're starting to play these games of like, okay, you want to close the distance so quick on me, and now you're sliding in and out on me, and we're like this. And now he slides in, and I go, okay, I'm right here falling back now and flaring. My goal is at this point, lay on your hip. I've sacrificed the shoulder, so I can't stay here because now he's going to clamp me. And now at this point, he's going to start elevating. This is going to be awful on this shoulder. So the moment I start coming over the top, I start flaring right away, okay? Because worst case scenario, I'm like, we're going super slow. I start throwing this hand up, and he's clamping, and he's hooking. So I'm laying back this way, so we're falling together. But you have no elevator hooks on me. So now it's easy with his bottom leg to pick this up. I'm going to ask this person to play the correct distance and to give you the right look. So as we fall, he's doing everything he can. I mean, if he wants to stay here, he should have bailed on me right away and done everything he can to push me away. So that's why I'm asking you that when you fall, do not worry about anything else. In the beginning, you will have people that are so hyper-focused on taking this hand. You do whatever you want. This leg is never coming over the top. I have full control here to stop anything that wants to come over. What I care about is becoming athletic again, because you're on your back, and if he's a really good player, he's going to be pushing me away, right, and doing everything he can to get these shins back between us. So it's not realistic for him to come over the top, but some people will. But it's easy to defend if he does, because I have this free hand to block this leg. So I just told you that I want to become athletic. As we land, I'm underneath this calf, right? So my first reaction is to re-shell that calf and take the back leg out. So now, no matter what, I'm not letting this leg come over, but I'm re-squaring my hips. Now we're like this, okay? Most of the time, I will tell you, you will just finish the pass. A high-level player will realize, damn, I just got beat on that angle. I got to bail on that and get the hell out of here because I got to bring these shins back between us and recover my position and reestablish my grips in another area, right? So we try to think of the scenario correctly when you're trying to visualize it, okay? Because unfortunately, you're gonna have some partners that they're kind of new to it, and they're not gonna give you the right look. And you're gonna be all different places, right? And he's hyper-focused on this. So we're like this again. Going super slow. He's like this. Okay, I'm here. Right? So the moment he came in, I'm flaring and coming back. That's how he goes. The two of us roll a bunch, and he knows this fast because I like doing it to him. Right? So I'm like this. We're fighting. Right? So I didn't land on anything other than I laid on my hip. He should have been bailing, and he's going to be doing what I said. He's going to be shrimping out him. He's going to be pushing me away. That's why I want to re-square this bottom leg up, because I can get rid of this very easily. And we could do this nasty. We could do it nice, right? Because he's here like this. As soon as I clear this, I can start taking this knee to start rubbing your face down with my shin. I'll get my hand back very easily, right? So you should have bailed on that because it's irrelevant. You shouldn't have. I already have head position and chin line, so you shouldn't have been holding that position on the far side. Okay, so I'll do it again, right? Remember what we said. Stay right there for me, right? Lay back down for 1 second. We were like this, right? Right? We were like this, same thing. We were like this, same thing. We're like this now, right? And he's tight. Okay, I just got rid of that, right? And we're like this. What do you plan on doing? Let's think about what potentially you could do. You don't have much. You have this arm, but we're laying side by side. You have a full access here for me to square this back up, right? So I'm looking to shelve this. So my first reaction, even if you were trying to shrimp away, I'm not letting go of you. We're gonna follow you until I can square this back up and re-square the bottom hip. Worst case scenario, I'm just gonna tell you this description. Worst case scenario, you don't stop pushing, push, push, push. I'm gonna punch the pocket and release. That's worst case scenario. So the positions just start changing on the wedge points really quick, in seconds, right? So one more time, right? Pretty simple. I'm gonna ask you to lay left and right, because I wanna start pairing them up backwards, where we touch foot, go forward, landed it, right? He's here and we're fighting, okay, same position, same, oh, perfect. Back top, right? I'm like this now. He's coming in tight and I go, okay, perfect. I'm here, driving, I'm on my hip, holding the foot, I really square it back up, he punches the pocket, I come around the side. Let's do it. And the question is, when you go back step on this, right? And you're like this, you came here and you went, boom, and we both landed like this, right? His question was, would it be better maybe to be on this side? Because when he comes up, I could grab onto the neck. That, just so that this is clear. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? But in IBJJ sets, you are not gonna get a side control pin because I don't impede this draw line, so he's gonna come up, right? So, yeah, I get it, and you kind of there, you kind of jump in the gun to make sure maybe you can get, but in an IBJJ set or any type of ADCC rules where they won't give you anything on that, but they'll give you points on a side control pin. So if I'm landing like this and and I'm squaring up, I want to start driving the shoulder this way because I need to hold this pin in order to score. Worst case scenario, that you said, okay, I would prefer that you did this one, right? Because I don't want him turning. And even in a real fight, real street fight, the more he turns, the more he gets to turtle, the closer he is to standing, the closer he is to throwing some crazy haymaker in a bar that could potentially hit me, right? So I don't want him standing at all. We're talking about real street fighting, MMA. I don't want him standing at all. So I would stay on this side always. The other side, if he were to come up, will always be there for you. Unlike this at this point, and when we're here, and now he's coming up. And my only concern at this point was pulling this out and having position behind the tricep line. And as Ethan's coming up, what stops me from looping it now? Nothing. I can always go back there. Like there's no impediment. All I did was just release this and release it over the top. There's nothing stopping me there at all to come back. So the question is like, could you do it? Yeah, of course. I don't mind him doing it. He's so good at Darces that that if you really, it's your money move and you feel, yeah, I know you paired your hands up faster that way. But in real fighting, street fighting, like just in real fight, you like street, like everything goes, man. I could bite you, I could do anything I want. You stay on that side, man. Okay, I describe everything because I want you to be able to defend yourself. UFC many times isn't real, right? I want you to be able to understand all the different sectors of it. We got 2 minutes before we go live. You want to grab water, anything you want. Let's do it. So you understand how this all played out. Visually try to put it in your head. Paulie comes underneath, and we're trying to fight for head position. He just went head position. You know what he's going to do? He's going to clamp. He's going to body lock. He's going to throw me up in the air. He's going to try to grab my legs. He's going to hunt everything, every position, right? So you just landed like this. So he realized that he just made this awful mistake. And now he starts it, right? Because he realizes he's about to get thrown up in the air or get elevated on a shoulder clamp, right? So he lands on the hip, on the flare. Perfect. Okay, stay right there for me. Okay? No, don't go anywhere, right? Read and reaction, right, at this point. If he is the faster reader in the equation, he will pick this leg up, square this back up, and now return this leg to an athletic position, right? And now he can take this a bunch of different ways. He can transfer high, he can punch the pocket, he can take head and arm control and land into a side control position. Perfect. Let's go back one more time, right? But I'm going to say he read it first, right? So the read and reaction, he won the first read and reaction. He wins the second one. He lands, boom, perfect. He's like this. Paulie just realized, damn, and he's doing everything he can to make this connection, and he's doing everything he can with all his muscular strength, trying to push you away because he read it late, right? And now he's doing everything he can. Stay right there. This hand at this point, if I don't remember the other day, I was talking about passing from a 2 behind 1 and why you don't use your hands, use your body, everything. Every wedge is your body, your kneecaps, your hand, your whole body's a tool. So in a realistic setting, we're going black to black. I mean, like, I heard a podcast the other day where the guy was describing the biggest variable within the belts. And it was on Joe Rogan with some guy, and the guy said, I heard black is. And I said, damn, he knows. Because there's a saying, there's blacks and then there's blacks, okay? And that's, when there's blacks and then, yeah, the other one, the one, you know, and a good portion of people will hold on. But at this point, he knows he's got to make separation at this point. So as he's pushing and do everything he can, what should he do with this hand? He should hold his hip, right? He should be holding on to him because I just won this angle and I'm going to give this up now? No way, right? And now, what was the essence of what we were doing the last couple of weeks? 2 behind 1, 2 behind 1. Why would we release yet? Because if we release this bottom leg, then this makes the connection and I lose the 2 behind 1. So his first reaction is, his reaction was the right one. His reaction was to push you away, regain the position, get your shins back, get your feet back in between, doing everything right. What was his reaction when he felt that reaction? His reaction is to hold on. I'm in a fight, man. You're not getting these things back between me. So now, back to the essence of 2 behind 1. What should he do? He should square that leg up, right? And now release the back leg. Yeah, and now he's back into the division of the 2 behind 1. Everything it plays mechanically the same way. There's no difference. The angles might be different, but it's the same principle, right? So now he has choices. He could take this in so many ways. He can go top. If Paulie keeps shrimping at this point, and probably this is what they'll do. This is absolutely what they'll do. We're going black, black, 3rd degree black, 5th degree black, been playing the game high level, been so fundamentally sound from the beginning. He's not going to stop shrimping because he can't go that way. If he goes that way, then he gave me his back. So he's going to do everything he can. So at this point, Ethan's already athletic again. So now his movements are 5 times the speed of the other guys, right? So now he can take this hand that was holding on for so hard to make sure that I can get myself athletic and end up in the 2 behind 1 structure. He can take this hand and punch that pocket with this hand. Now transfer his feet high to the top quad, and now he's right back on a hunt again. He never lost his player. Never lost his player, okay? So we're going to do it again, okay? There's something that I want to go back from the beginning, right? You're like this, right? This is the same principle. Same principle. Right? Stay right there. Go back for a second. Right now, no, stay right. Right now, there's no division, right? Right? But he starts to move. Go ahead. Boom. Right? Paulie came in, 1 head battle. What does Ethan do? Boom. Division started already, right? Half of this side, half of that side, heads on that side. It's the same principle. If you ingrain it in yourself, you'll go back to that same paragraph over and over, over and over, over and over, over and over. It's the essence of Gordon passing. It's the essence of what Johnny showed us. Like, it's the same division over and over and over and over and over. Okay, so let's do it again. Play those details out. If your bottom partner can give you the right reactions, there should be two. If he read it right, if I read it right and he read it late, I'm going to pick the leg up and just come right back in. If he read it right, he's going to be pushing me away like mad. I can't lose him. So my hand position goes to the hip. Go back one more time. Right? Hand position goes to the hip. Otherwise, I'm going to lose him right away. So I'm like this. I hit that flare. Paul, he's pushing like crazy. I'm holding the position so he can't. I squared it back up, and now I transferred high. Sorry, I was in your way. Okay, let's do it again. Oh. Hey, I always say this. I haven't looked around the room, so I don't know if there's any new people. Scan that happy pill code. Cynthia has that PDF file. If you forget any of these details, you can go right back to the video, and then you can click my vocabulary is different than other instructors, so you can read it, click the video, and it'll take you back. So if anything, like, I know sometimes one of the things I hated was that the room, and this is really truthful. I had a conversation with Katerina the other day, and one thing that we wanted to do is try to get some of the blue belts and the purple belts that are so scared to come in here because they just have never taken off the gi. And I understand. They come in here, they've been playing, very true, a lot of them playing 14, 15 years, and then they run into a young Martin, and they go, how long have you been playing? And they goes, 18 months, and they're getting mauled. And the reason I'm bringing it up is that I get it. Like, this is why I was saying this, is that you come in here, and then you learn all these details, and then you're off to work. And then your boss tells you got to do this, and your wife tells you got to do this, and your daughter tells you got to do this. And then by the end of the night, you go, what did we even go over? I can't remember a single thing, right? And that's why a lot of this stuff, go back and see it again. Watch it again, right? I'm like this. And I come like this, right? And I just took he one position. I'm like, oh, darn, he's about to clam. So I drive it, and I do this back step, and I land like this. We landed together, okay? And now I tell you about this squaring up. He does nothing. He wants to keep holding this arm and thinking he's going to bring this guy over. If he's going to bring it over, I block it. But either way, whether I pick it or block it, I wedge this guy first, okay? Because now I'm 2 behind 1. Now I'm releasing the back leg, and I'm like this. And now he realizes he just made this awful mistake of letting me do these 2 different cycles down here before he realizes he's about to go side control. And now he abandons me, and I'm like this, and he's pushing me away, right? And now I don't really have great grips, right? It's not like I have gi, right? And if you have gi, you start to realize, I feel like I'm cheated, right? And that's why I say to them sometimes when they play gi, and I go, they should come to no gi, man. It's so much more technical. Like, you'll just improve your gi game. So I'm like this, but some don't listen, right? I'm like this. And now, it's the truth. I mean, it's really true. Been here a long time. I don't get it, but I'm like this, holding on. And they're pushing me away, and I'm not that strong. And now there's distance between us like this. My first reaction with this hand is to win this battle, because I can block this leg with my physical position of my headline. So my first reaction is to punch this pocket, because all I'm going to do is another backstep. So before, when I backstep, I was down here. But now when I backstep, I'm going to be up there, coming back at this quadrant. So my first reaction, and this goes with Leela and I were just working this. My first reaction, because he's so big and strong, he's pushing me away. And now there's so much distance between us. And now I don't have anything. I touch this pocket. And now I do the backstep again. But now I'm here. So now I can take, and I know you're going to go, where does this go? And I'm going to describe this. I'll just keep it kind of general. I just landed. So if he turned this way, it's no, the other way, sir. It's easy for me to hold on to this elbow and now start winning this elbow so that I can start coming into the back bump. That was awful. So I want to show you. I'm like, it really was, because I'm talking as I'm doing instead of, so I'm like this, right? I just landed this, I'm like this. And now I'm over here, I'm picking this, and he just realized it, and he extends my hands out. And I'm like this, punching his pocket. Now when I backstep, I'm like this again, but now I'm really far away from these. So these aren't even an issue for me. My first reaction on this side is to get control of this elbow. If I can get control of the elbow, now I can start picking him up and shell the elbow, so now you can't get away from me. You're not gonna tell me you can come to turtle, and it's impossible. Because if I can shell the elbow high, you'll get stuck. You might say, Mike, I missed the elbow. Okay, so you missed the elbow. So if I miss the elbow, one of the things I left off in the other class was I showed a variation of this, and I described that when you backstep at this point, that your head position be in front of the shoulder line, because they're not gonna go that way. If they go that way, man, yes, you made a mistake. You gave me all access to your back. I can pick and choose if I wanna stay in this quadrant, if you go that way, or the quadrant down here. So that'd be a blessing if you went that way for me. But you're gonna do everything you can to reface me, because the first day you've been taught, don't give your back up, don't turn away, don't leave, fight back and come back this way. So he's gonna do everything I can. So in the last class, if you watched that video, I was really descriptive about your head position, because I was like this at this point, and I wanted to win this battle. But my head position was here, because I don't control his hips. I've left that position down there already. So I'm fighting for him not to turn. So I'm like this at this point, pushing into these shoulders, right? But let's say I missed this guy and I missed that guy, right? But my head position was correct fundamentally from the very beginning. I'm like this. And now Ethan's coming up the turtle. Stay right there for me. This right here is about to transfer from this side of my ear to this side of my ear. So he's coming up. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna take one of the weakest muscles at this point, that front deltoid, and pull it out. So I was like this at this point. I just realized you cleared my ear. So I'm gonna take your elbow, and as you keep coming, I'm gonna lax this up. And now I can start going into my Olympic rows, my Darcing. You pull this arm back. Okay, now I'm back on my guillotines. I'm not gonna stop my attacks. I'm not gonna stop my attacks. I just beat you at the angle. I will keep relentlessly attacking. Whether I finish that position or not, I do not want to lose position. I want to be dominant the whole time. So this time, fed you a couple of things. I told you there's a lot of detail to it. Seems like a simple move, but then you start to realize, I never capture it. Why don't you capture it? Because if we look at the video, I go, your hand was wrong, your hips were wrong, you released the bottom leg too fast, your head position was wrong on the back step, what leg came out first was incorrect. Like, you're only as strong as your weakest link. That's all you are. So be very detailed in your drilling. I know I went over a lot of stuff. We got about 5 minutes of drilling, but the more details I can go, the deeper we can get into the chain, the higher we can get as a group, okay? So let's part up and do this. Let's rock.